to our English class. We're going to start with reviewing a little bit of what we went over last week. So can someone remind me, what was your homework for last week? Barry, can you let us know? What was the homework from last week? I'll give you some time. Oh, go ahead.
Uh, uh, we have a worksheet.
Very good. We had a worksheet to complete. So I'm going to put that in the chat for the students who weren't here last week. But we didn't get to finish it. You had an assignment to do at the end. So you were supposed to describe how you go grocery shopping. So if you remember, our story was about a girl named Jenny, how she went grocery shopping. She's a bargain hunter. So you were supposed to describe, using at least 4 sentences, how you go grocery shopping. And you were supposed to try to use some of those vocab words that we learned from our story. So for those of you that were there, so it was just Barry and Stella. So Barry, would you be able to share what you wrote down? How do you how do you go grocery shopping?
So I read it.
Can you say that one more time, Barry?
I read it.
Oh no, so for the homework last week, we were supposed to, I'll share my screen. And if you forgot or had trouble, that's okay, because you always do it. But give me 1 second so I can share my screen. So this was the homework from last week. Using the vocabulary words you have learned, describe how you go grocery shopping. Use at least 4 complete sentences. Did you remember that, Barry, or no? Were you able to complete this part, Barry, from the worksheet?
Okay. First I go to the grocery shop. Then I push a cart and pull the thing I want into the car. Then I get everything I need it. I go to the checkout. Then the cashier scan all of the things for me. Then I pay some fee and take the things go home.
Okay, I'm back. I think I got kicked off for a moment. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Barry, I was able to hear most of what you had done for describing how you go grocery shopping, and it sounded really good. So thank you for sharing. What about you, Stella? How do you go grocery shopping?
When I go to the grocery store, I always go there with my mom, and we take a shopping basket to find the groceries, what we want. My mom is known as a bargain hunter, She always buys things that are on sale. After we choose, we line up at the checkout. When it is our turn, we empty the contents of the basket into the counter. The cashier helps us check out. Then we give him the bills and take our things to go home.
Great job, Stella. Thank you for using and you too, Barry. Thank you for using those vocabulary words that we learned about in our story. So that was a great paragraph. Thank you for sharing. So now would it be okay if I meet some of the new students?
Yes. So it's my fault. I did not add her on time. so this is Anna. Anna, could you say hello to teacher Xiahna?
Hello, teacher.
Hello, Anna. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you.
And my student Sandy. Sandy, could you say hi?
Okay, hi teacher, I'm Sandy. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Sandy. It's nice to meet you too. Thank you for being here. I like your shirt.
Alan.
That's cool. Okay, awesome. So it's perfect that you guys came today because we're starting a new story. So we'll all be on the same page. To begin, let's show a picture from our story. I'm going to share my screen so we can look at this picture. And it's a little blurry, but hopefully you guys will still be able to see. You can look at the PDF I put in the chat too if you'd like to see it. So here's our picture from our story. So let's take a few seconds to look at it. And as we look at this picture, I'd like to ask Ryan, what do you see in this picture? What do you see?
Two children and a car.
Very good. So we see two children. They're in a car. Is there anything else that we notice? Yeah, so there's not much else in the picture. So we see a car, two kids, maybe it's a brother and a sister. So what do you think, and it could be anything, what do you think this story may be about? Sandy, can you answer that? What do you think our story might be about?
Maybe they drive the car to somewhere.
That's a good guess. So maybe they're going on a trip. Maybe they're going to drive somewhere. Very good guess. So we know it has something to do with the car because we see the car in the picture. So it's very good to look at the picture of the story so that we can think about, what may this be about? So excellent observations. So let's go over our vocabulary words before we read our story. So I'm going to share my screen now to look at our vocab words. So the title of our story is Dad's New Car. So that's the title. Oops. So let's go over these words. And for those of you who it's your first time being here, usually I say the word and then the students, you guys repeat after me. And then we do the same thing with our example sentences. And as always, if you have any questions about the words or anything you would like to mention, please unmute yourself and go ahead and let me know. So let's start with our first word, brand new.
Brand
Brand
new.
new.
Brand new.
Very good. So if something is brand new, that's just another way of saying it's completely new. So you just got it or you just bought it. So let's look at our examples. I don't want to get my brand new shoes dirty.
I
I don't want
don't
to
want
Want
to
to
get
get
my
my
brand new
brand
shoes
new shoes
dirty.
dirty.
Karen got a brand new backpack for her first day of school.
Karen
Karen got a brand new backpack
for
for her
her
first day of school.
Very good. So again, if something is brand new, you just got it, it's completely new. We can see in this picture, this looks like a brand new pair of shoes. So they just came out of the box. Maybe you haven't even worn them yet. So again, brand new, completely new. Next, air conditioning.
Air
Air
conditioning.
conditioning.
Very good. So air conditioning is something that we really need, especially right now. I know where I live, it is very hot right now. So I really need the air conditioning to be on. So what is the air conditioning? It's a system that keeps the air nice and cool in a building or in a car. So let's read our example sentence. Kevin's family doesn't like the heat, so they always have the air conditioning on in their house.
Kevin's
Kevin's
family
family
doesn't
doesn't
like
like
the
the
heat,
heat,
so
so
they
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 always
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 have the
have
air
the air
conditioning
conditioning
on in
on
their
in
house.
their house.
Very good. So we see two pictures. This looks like an air conditioning unit in someone's house, or we also have air conditioning in our cars. So we turn that on to keep cool. I also wanted to include this little box because there's a lot of other words for air conditioning. So it can also be called just air. So instead of saying, please turn the air conditioning on, I might say, please turn the air on. And typically, you would understand what I'm saying. I mean, the air conditioning. You might also call it the AC. So that's usually what I call the air conditioning, just the AC. I need to turn the AC on because it is so hot. You might also call it air conditioner instead of air conditioning. So any of these, maybe depending on where you live, people might more commonly use one of these words, but they all mean air conditioning. So I just wanted to add that in there. Next, power.
Power.
Very good. So I don't want to confuse you because power can mean a lot of different things in English. But in this story, we're using the word power as an adjective to describe something that is operated by electricity or motor. So if you don't understand what that means, it might be helpful to take a look at our pictures. So in another story, we learned what the word manual means. We learned the word manual. Stella, do you remember what manual means?
I forgot.
Okay, that's okay. Let's see if Barry, do you remember? Do you remember what manual means?
a thing you need to do by your hand.
Very good, very good. So if something is manual, you have to use your hands to do it. So let's look at our example sentence right here. My car has manual windows, but my older brother's car has power windows.
My car
My car has
manual
manual
windows,
windows,
while my
as
older
my older
brother's
brother's car has power windows.
power windows.
Very good. So in this picture, we can't see the window itself, but this car has manual windows. So you have to crank this little lever to roll the window up or down. You have to do it by hand. It's manual. But many cars today have power windows. So you have to just press a button and the window goes up or down. So that's working off of an energy source. You don't have to do it by hand. It's not manual. So let's look at our second example. We need power tools to complete our job.
We need
We
power
need power tools to complete our job.
Very good. So we see in these two pictures two tools. So these tools might be used to do a project or build a house. So Anna, I'd like to ask, or Alice, I'd like to ask you, Alice, which of these tools would you say is a power tool? What do you think? On the right or the left?
Right.
Alice, right, yeah.
Very good. The right. So we see this would be a power tool. So Anna, what is this tool? A power tool or a manual tool?
Manual tool 是手动的 ，Power tool 是电动的。
So if it's a power tool, or even we were talking about power windows, it's run by electricity or a motor. So you don't do it just with your hands. It has to have some kind of energy. Okay, so like a window, a power window, you just press the button and the window rolls up or down. With this tool, it's different from this tool. This would be a manual tool because all you have to use is your hands to do it. This tool is a power tool because it's going off of a different kind of energy, a source of energy. I'm not sure if that makes sense. Do you understand that, Anna?
右边的是电动的，要用电；那左边的用手，这叫 manual，这是手动的；power 这是电动的。OK。
Thank you, Luke. I know this can be hard to understand, and I don't know much about tools anyway, so yeah, it's important to know the difference between manual and power for this story. So let's move on to our next one, backseat.
Backseat.
And let's look straight at our example. My mom always makes me sit in the back seat of the car because I am the youngest.
My mom
always
makes
makes
me
me sit
sit
in the back seat of the car because I'm the youngest.
Very good. So this one's pretty simple. The back seat, it's the seats in the back of the car. So these are the back seats, and up here would be the front seat. So Bright, when you ride in the car, do you usually sit in the back seat of the car?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we have two people do. Awesome. So you might sit in the back seat or you might sit in the front seat. So very good. Next, silver.
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 So silver is a valuable metal that is used to make jewelry. So we see right here is a silver necklace. It is made out of silver. But sometimes when we use the word silver, we don't mean exactly that metal. We might just mean the color of silver. So let's look at our examples to help us out with that. Our first sentence, I bought my sister a silver necklace as a gift.
I
I
bought
bought my
my
sister a
sister a
silver necklace
selfie
as a
necklace as a gift.
Melissa's new car was silver.
Melissa's new car
Alita's
was
new car
silver.
was silver.
Very good. So in our first example, we're talking about a silver necklace. So this is actual silver, that metal we talked about. In our second example, we're just talking about the color of silver. I'm sure Melissa couldn't really buy a car that was made of silver. That would be really expensive. So we're just talking about the color. The color of the car is silver. So does anyone here have, or their parents use a car that is a silver color?
My parents' car is dark silver.
Okay, so Barry, their car is dark silver. So does it look like the car in the picture, this color, or is it darker?
Darker.
Darker. Okay. Okay, great. So you know what a silver colored car would look like. And we know a bunch of different colors for a car. The car I drive is white. Um, but thank you, Barry, for sharing. And this will be really important because for your homework later on, you'll get to do a really fun project about cars. But we'll talk about that at the end. Next, choice.
Choice.
So very good. So a choice is a possibility of choosing or picking between two or more things. So let's look at our example. We had to make a choice between pasta and hamburgers for dinner.
We had to
We
make
had
a
to
choice
make a
between
choice
pasta and
between
hamburgers
pasta
for
and
dinner.
hamburgers
and
for dinner.
dinner.
Very good. So again, when you make a choice, you're picking or choosing between two or more things. So in this example, we had to make a choice. You had to pick pasta or hamburgers. What are you going to eat for dinner? Or we see in this picture, this girl has to make a choice. We see on the left, these foods, they don't look very good for you. They might make your stomach hurt if you eat a lot of them. On the right, we see fruits and vegetables. These look better for your body. So she has to make a choice. She has to choose between two or more things. Pay for.
Pay for.
Pay for.
So you might already be familiar with this phrase because in our past stories, we've talked a lot about maybe having to pay fee or paying for groceries. But to pay for something is simply to give money to buy something. So if we look at our examples, our first one, I decided to pay for my mom's lunch today.
I
I
decide
decide
to
to
pay
pay
for
for
my
my mom's lunch today.
lunch today.
How much did you pay for your new shirt?
How much
How much
did
you pay for
you
your
pay
shirt?
for your new shirt?
Very good, you guys. So again, when you pay for something, you're giving money so that you can buy it. So you might give the money to the cashier. We learned about what a cashier is in our last story, or to the waiter or waitress at a restaurant. So the person who brings you the food, you might give them the money. You're paying for your lunch or your clothes at a store. Possibly.
Possibly.
So to understand what possibly means, it's helpful to look at the word possible because these words go together. So if something is possible, that means it's able to be done, happen, or exist. So possibly means in a possible manner, or in the way it is used in this story, it could mean the same as ever. So let's look at our example to see how this word would be used. The grocery store has everything I could possibly need to make dinner.
The
The
grocery
grocery
store
store
has
Grocery
has
store has
everything I
everything I
could
everything I
possibly
possibly
could
need to make
possibly
dinner.
need to make dinner.
Very good. So if you're I will be honest, it's hard for me to explain what the word possibly means. So if you're having trouble understanding how to use this word or what it means, please feel free to look at the copy of the story. And you can look at the translations into Mandarin from English so that you'll be able to see exactly what that means. Okay, next, a phrase. Except for.
except
Except
for
for.
For
So we use this phrase when we are speaking of not including a particular person, thing, or fact. So our examples say, everyone except for Chris came to the party.
everyone
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 except
except
for
for
except
Chris
Chris
came
came
for
to
to
the
the
Chris
party.
party.
came to the party.
I work every day except Friday.
I work
I
every
work
day
every
I work
day
except
except
every
Friday.
day
Friday.
except Friday.
Very good. So in our first example, everyone except for Chris came to the party. So Chris was not included in those who came. Everyone was there except for him. He wasn't at the party. Or I work every day except Friday. So that means you work all the other days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but you don't work on Friday. It's not included in the days that you work. Are there any questions about this phrase?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. So again, except for, it's not included. To sip.
To see.
To
To
sip.
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 So to sip is to drink something, but you take only a very little bit at a time when you're drinking. So let's look at our examples. The tea is very hot, so sip it carefully.
The
He is
tea
very
is
hot.
very
Tea
hot,
is
Sip
very
it
so
hot,
sip
carefully.
it
so sip
carefully.
it carefully.
She slowly sipped her water.
He
She
slowly
She
sipped
slowly
her
sipped
water.
slowly
her
sipped
water.
her water.
Very good. So if we look at the example of tea, we know tea is very hot. So you don't drink it very fast because it might hurt your mouth. You might burn your mouth. So you sip it. You take only a bit at a time. You sip it carefully. So again, to sip, you're drinking, but you take only a little bit at a time. To blast.
To
To
blast.
blast.
So for this, we're going to look straight at our example sentences. So our first one says, "Can you please blast the air conditioning? It's hot in here."
Can you please
You
blast
please
the air
blast the air
conditioning? It's hot
conditioning.
in
It's
here.
hot in here.
So reading this sentence, you could look at this picture. So to blast in this case means to turn it up. When it's really hot, you might blast the air conditioning because you want the air to become cold. So in this picture, the air conditioning is blasting. It's on full force so that the room can cool down. So now let's look at our second sentence. Bethany likes to blast music when she's driving.
Bethany likes
Bethany
to
likes to
blast
blast music
music
when
when
she's driving.
driving.
Very good. So looking at this sentence and then looking at this picture, when we're speaking about blasting music, that means it's up very high. The volume is up. So it's really loud. So people might blast music when they're driving, like these two girls are doing. People blast music at parties. The music is really loud. So these are two, when speaking about music or air conditioning, these are two ways in which we might use this verb to blast. So to increase in force or volume. Okay, we've come to our last one, DVD player.
DVD player.
DVD player.
So I don't think this one needs much explanation. We see two pictures of a DVD player. This one you would probably use at home. This one is in a car. Some cars have DVD players, so you can watch movies. Let's read our example real quick. Our DVD player is broken, so we can't watch the movie.
Our
Our
DVD player
DVD player is broken,
we
so
can't
we
watch
can't
the
watch the movie.
Very good. So excellent job with reading these sentences, you guys. We are now at the end when we get to practice using these words that we learn. So now's the time when you take at least one of the following words or phrases to create your own sentence. If you want, you could use more than one of these words, and you can make more than one sentence if you'd like, but at least one sentence. So when you are finished, in the chat box, type your sentence. I see a couple of you are already doing that. So again, now is the time to create your sentence or sentences, and then type them in the chat box when you are finished. Are there any questions about that? I know some of you are new.
Yeah, let me explain this to the newcomers today.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
新来的同学可以把这些新的单字拿一个出来，造一个句子，打字打在那个我们的 chat box，就是聊天室那个地方，就在那个我们荧幕的底下，你可以找一下就知道了。OK，那如果有问题再跟我讲啊。Thank you.
Thank you, Luke. And then, of course, as always, While you're doing this, if you have any questions about any of these words, or if you'd like me to give more examples of how these words would go in a sentence, just go ahead and feel free to speak up and I'd be happy to answer your questions. So I'll give you time to make your sentences now. So we have a few sentences already. Thank you. These sentences look awesome so far, you guys. So I just have a little bit more time and then we'll be able to share what you guys created for your sentences. Okay, so I think that's all of you. Thank you guys so much for your hard work. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and let's listen as your classmates share their sentences. So why don't we start with Stella? Can you please share your sentence?
In my house, there are 3 air conditioning.
Thank you, Stella. So you used air conditioning. Wow, so you have 3 in your house. So is your house usually really hot or really cool?
Sometimes it's hot.
So when the house is hot, do you turn on all 3 of the air conditioners?
No.
Just one?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Thank you for your hard work. That's what I need. I need the air conditioning on right now because it's hot right now. Okay, let's move on to Barry. Can you please share your sentence?
It's hard to choose what he want to buy. Air conditioning or a brand new DVD player.
Great sentence. That would be a difficult choice to make. Very good. So for yours, I see you use the word choice. So in our vocabulary, choice was used as a noun. So the word you're looking for is choose. So I'm going to type that in the chat. So choice is the noun, choose is the verb. So that means it's the action. So your sentence would be, it's hard to choose. Do you understand what I mean? Awesome. Awesome. Very good. So it's hard to choose what he wants to buy. I hope he buys the air conditioning because that's more important. But it's nice to have a DVD player as well. So great job, Barry. Awesome sentence. Why don't we move on to Bright? Bright, can you please share your sentence?
I found my dad sent me DVD player.
Very good, Bright. So you use DVD player as well. I'm going to type into the chat what might make your sentence sound even better. Could you read what I just sent in the chat, Bright?
My dad sent me a DVD player.
Very good. So it's not much different from the sentence you made. I don't know exactly what you mean by I found. So what I typed in there, it just makes it sound a little better and easier to understand. But great job on using the word DVD player.
I guess he meant to say, I found that. My dad sent me a DVD
Okay.
player. Yeah.
So what Luke said, that would be how you say what you meant then. I found that or found out that my dad sent me a DVD player. Okay, right?
Okay.
Okay, great job. So thank you so much. Great work. Okay, why don't we go to Ryan? Ryan, can you please share your sentence?
Because it is so hot. So we balanced the air condition and then we used the DVD player to watch the movie.
Great sentence. Awesome. So I see blast, air conditioning, DVD player. So that was a very descriptive sentence, a lot of detail. Awesome. Great job. You're welcome. Sandy, can you please share your sentence?
Okay. The air conditioning didn't work. No wonder there is so hard. Maybe we have to choose what we really need to buy, and we must abandon the brand new DVD player.
I love it. Great. Great paragraph. It reminds me of, I think it was Barry's about choosing between air conditioning and DVD player. Great job. Great sentence as well. We're running a little short on time, so I can't give you all the feedback I'd like to. So let's move, but that was a great job. So let's move on to Anna. Can you please share your sentence?
Yes. I use a DVD player to play my favorite movie.
Perfect. That sentence is perfect. Great job. Thank you. Thank you so much. Alice, can you please share your sentence?
Choose is difficult to me when it's important.
Very good. That's a very thoughtful sentence. I really appreciate that. So I understand what you're trying to say in this sentence. Do you mean it's difficult to make choices when it's important?
I think so.
Okay. Okay, so I appreciate that you had that's a very well thought out sentence. So I'm going to type in the chat. So Anna, could you read what I just typed in the chat?
Do you mean Alice?
Oh, Alice, I'm sorry.
Okay, Alice, you have to unmute. 先打开麦克风。老师刚打的，把它念一次。
It's difficult for me to make choose when it is important.
Very good. So this is pretty much the same thing you wrote down in your sentence. The meaning was perfect, spot on. So in this sentence I put in the chat, the words are in the right place. So that would be the correct way of writing that sentence. But I really appreciate what you wrote because that's a very thoughtful, well thought out sentence. Awesome job. And Jessie too. I can't see your face, but awesome sentence. I have a brand new pair of shoes. Great job, brand new. So I think that was everybody. So let's get right into our story. So for this story, I put it in the chat earlier. So please have this so that we can all look at it together. And I'll put it there one more time so that you don't have to scroll all the way back. So when we read a story, I read the first portion and you listen. And then again, I read one sentence at a time and you repeat after me. You repeat after me. So does everybody have their story ready to go? I see nods. Okay, so again, this is in the chat. Anna, do you have this story?
去下载，现在在那个 chat box，老师刚传的。
Okay.
Oh, I think we may have lost Anna. So hopefully she'll be able to come back on. But let's get started. So let's start with the title. Ryan, can you please read the title?
Okay. Dad's new car.
Very good. Dad's new car. So again, I will read it through one time, then we will do it again, and you will repeat after me. My dad bought a brand new car yesterday. It is the coolest car ever. It has everything you could want. I'm so sorry about that. My internet is being bad today. But let's get back into the story. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Thank you. It is the coolest car ever. It has everything you could want, like nice soft seats, air conditioning, power windows, and even a DVD player in the back seat. Silver wouldn't have been my first choice for a color, but then again, I didn't have to pay for it, so I guess it's okay. I like the new car so much that I'm going to ask my parents if I can live in it. That would be so cool. It has everything I could possibly want, except for maybe a bathroom. I can see myself sitting in it during a hot summer day, watching a movie, sipping a drink, and cooling off with the air conditioning blasting away. Life couldn't get much better than that. So now we're going to read it again, but this time repeat after me. My dad bought a brand new car yesterday.
My
My
dad
My
dad
dad
bought
bought
a
bought a
brand
a
brand
new
brand new
new
car
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 yesterday.
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 It is the coolest car ever.
It
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 is
is
the
is
the
the
coolest
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 car
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 ever.
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 It has everything you could want, like nice soft seats, air conditioning, power windows, and even a DVD player in the back seat.
It
Has
It
has
has
everything you
everything
everything
you
could
you
could
want,
could
want,
like
want,
nice
like
soft
nice
seats,
soft
like
air
seats,
nice
air
conditioning,
soft
Air
power
conditioning,
conditioning,
windows,
power
power
and
windows,
even
windows,
a
and
DVD
even
even
a
player
even
in
a
the
DVD
back
DVD
player
seat.
in
player
the
in
back
the
seat.
back seat.
Silver wouldn't have been my first choice for a color, but then again, I didn't have to pay for it, so I guess it's okay.
Silver wouldn't
Silver
have
wouldn't
silver.
been
have
my
been
first
my
choice
first
for
choice
color,
for a color,
but then
but
again,
then
I did
again,
not
I
have
didn't
to
have
pay
to
for
pay
it,
for
so I
it,
guess
so
it's
I guess
okay.
it's okay.
I guess it's okay.
I like the new car so much that I'm going to ask my parents if I can live in it.
I love
I
new
I
like
cars
the
like
so
new
the
much
car
new
so
that
car
much
I'm
so
that
much
going
I'm
to
going
ask
that
my
to
I'm going
parents
ask
to
my
if I
parents
can live
if
ask
in
I
it.
my
can live in it.
That would be so cool.
That would be
That
so
would be
cool.
so cool.
It has everything I could possibly want, except for maybe a bathroom.
It
It
has
has
everything I
everything
could
I could possibly
possibly
want,
want, except
except
for
for
maybe a
maybe a
bathroom.
bathroom.
uh,
I can see myself sitting in it during a hot summer day, watching a movie, sipping a drink, and cooling off with the air conditioning blasting away.
I can see
I can
I
see
myself
can
myself
see
sitting
sitting
in it
in
myself
it
during the
during a
hot
hot
summer
summer
day,
day,
watching
watching
a
a
movie,
movie,
sipping
sipping a
a
drink, and
drink, and
cooling off
cooling
with
off
the air
with the air
conditioning
conditioning
blasting
blasting
away.
away.
Life couldn't
away.
get much better than it.
Very good. Life couldn't get much better than that.
Uh,
Life couldn't
life
get
couldn't
much
get
better
much
than
better
what?
than that.
Very good reading, you guys. So these two paragraphs have a lot of detail. So let's try to talk about them real quick and make sure we understand. So, who got a new car in this story? Alice, who got a new car?
Her dad.
Yeah, and the story doesn't tell us if it's a girl or a boy, but yeah, the dad got a brand new car. And what things does the car have? Sandy, what things does the car have that make it really cool?
The air conditioning, power windows, and a DVD player.
Yeah, so it has a lot of cool things in the car. But there's one thing missing. So what is one thing that the car doesn't have that the boy might like? Stella, what do you think? What is one thing the car doesn't have that he might like?
The color.
Yeah, so the color, right? He didn't really like the silver, but there's something else too, because he says he loves the car so much he could live in it, except there's one thing missing. Bright. What is one thing missing in the car? This is sort of a tricky one. It has everything he could want except for something.
I don't know.
Okay, that's okay. It's sort of a hard question. Let's ask Ryan. Ryan, what do you think? The car has everything he could want except for... You have to unmute your... There you go.
And can you question again?
Okay, so the car has everything the boy could want except for one thing because he wants to live in the car. But there's one thing that the car doesn't have that he would need if he wanted to live in the car.
The
Can someone help him out?
Does anybody know?
A bathroom.
Very good. A bathroom. So usually a car doesn't have a bathroom. So I understand why that might have been a hard question. But he says he could live in the car, except there's no bathroom. That's the one thing that he would have liked the car to have. So very good. I know we're running a little short on time, but I put in the chat earlier this worksheet, and I don't have much time to explain it, unfortunately, but I will put it in the chat again. So it's pretty simple. Let me actually share my screen really quick. Okay, so for your homework, you have a worksheet. There are 2 pages. So on the first page, we see the pictures that we had in our presentation today. So your job is to match the pictures with the correct word. The correct word. So match the pictures with the correct word. On the second page, you have 5 sentences that are missing words. They're missing words. And you have to choose what would be the correct word. So for example, number 7, my sister is excited to wear her blank dress. to the party? Would the correct word be brand new or choice? So do that for the rest of these sentences. And for number 3, I'll try to explain this really quick. So I wanted you to describe your dream car. So that means if you could have any car in the world, any color, or what the car would look like, describe how that car would be. Whatever you want. So there's a few questions here that can help you think about what your dream car would look like. What color? Does it have air conditioning? Where would you go in your dream car? So please write that down and draw a picture of your dream car. So there's a few examples here. You don't have to do something super big, but again, write out if you could have any car, what would it look like? What would it have? And then draw a picture. So I'm sorry that we went a little over time, but Luke, maybe you could explain that to make sure they understand
Okay.
this part.
Yeah, the last part. 所以如果你可以有一台自己打造的车啊，或者然后买的车，那它会是什么样的车啊？什么颜色？然后有空调吗？还是有没有 DVD 在里面啊？就是要画一张图，然后搭配这个就是这个颜色，还有你刚刚描述的东西。Okay, I think they understand.
Okay, awesome. So I really look forward to that, to seeing your pictures.
All right, please unmute your mic and say thank you, teacher Xiahna. Okay, let's do that together. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, teacher Xiahna.
Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye. See you next week.
See you next week. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.